Hi, welcome to the Profitable Hypnosis Business online show where top experts share their kick-ass money-making strategies and success habits. Hi there. Are you ready to turn your hypnosis business into a business that creates cash flow and gives you the life you want, like Michael? I'm Karen Bird, your host, and I put together this online event to bring you some of the top experts from around the world. They are going to share with you their number one secret about how they successfully and consistently bring in more cash flow and kick ass in their business and their lives. And I'm thrilled to introduce you to Michael today. Hi, Michael.
Hey, how are you? Great to be here, Karen. So excited.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. He is going to talk about automating your hypnosis practice in this time that everything is changing. So a little bit about Michael first. Michael DeSchalit is from the Virtual Hypnosis Online and also a stage hypnotist, one of our top stage hypnotists, and an expert in the field of hypnosis and the leader in online hypnosis and coaching. He has successfully run a private hypnosis practice for more than 17 years and works with clients worldwide. So again, please welcome Michael DeSchalit.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear some of your business strategies for those that are watching. First question, when and why did you decide to go entirely virtual?
Well, and it's a super simple answer to that one. I am cheap. That's what it is. I'm cheap. No, actually, here's a longer answer, but it does involve that I am cheap. Okay, so I used to live in Tucson, Arizona. 2 years ago, I decided to move. My wife and I and family decided to move from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, I had an office, a physical hypnotherapy office in Tucson, Arizona. I was paying about $450 a month. It wasn't bad. I had everything I needed there, all the amenities. It was a mile from my house. But I knew when I was going to make this transition, I needed to change things up. First of all, I had been coming to Vegas all my life. So I knew Vegas inside and out, at least the tourist areas. So I didn't know where people lived. I didn't know about the communities. I didn't know about office space. I didn't know about any of that stuff. And certainly I could have, researched that, and I did a little bit. What I found was that most offices were about $600 to $800 a month. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's an increase in office rent. Do I really need an office to do what I do? So I started playing around with doing some online sessions. And over the last 17 years, I tried things on Skype. I tried things, with different platforms, and everything worked okay. But I always thought in the back of my mind, well, this is not going to be a good permanent fix for anything. Well, I decided I needed to make this permanent. So I discovered Zoom, and I discovered a couple of other platforms that I use. And actually, it was at another conference. It was at a Mid-America conference. I met Michael Watson, and Michael introduced me to a Zoom class that he does training on. And I took the class. I'm like, how in the world did this happen? Because I was telling the story about how I'm moving to Vegas. And actually, you might have even been there, Karen. I think we were sitting at a booth there or something. I don't remember. And Michael said, hey, I could teach you how to use Zoom. And I'm like, well, that'd be great. So I took his class, and I discovered this platform, this Zoom thing. I'm like, wow, this is like sliced bread. I love this. I can do this. So I started seeing clients on Zoom. But then I thought, okay, there's got to be an easier way. I'm not an automation kind of a guy. I'm an old-fashioned guy, and I like that personal touch. But I will be honest with you, sending out reminder emails to clients or calling clients, go, hey, don't forget, we're going to meet on Zoom tomorrow, was a little daunting, actually a little bit more than daunting. It was a pain in the, well, you know where. And so I didn't want to do that. So I started looking and researching for systems and platforms that I could use and tie and connect together to allow me to automate my entire system. So then when I moved to Vegas, I didn't open an office. My office is what you see behind me or wherever I'm at. With green screen technology, you can be any place. It's perfect. I like it. I've saved thousands of dollars in office rent since I moved here, and this July, like first, second or so, will be 2 years. So I've literally saved tens of thousands of dollars in office rent and have maintained a profitable practice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can I ask, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are wondering, as you talk about your automated system, what do you use to give your clients reminders? And I know that I've moved to Calendly and Active Campaign. What do you use? I know there's always that question.
Well, and basically I've found and discovered about 4 different platforms. I've used for my scheduling system for a long time a platform called Schedule Once. Now it's called Once Hub. but it was called Scheduled Once. And now part of Once Hub is Schedule Once, and they have another component, which I'm not sure what it does really, and I don't use it. So Schedule Once was what I was using for my calendaring platform, even for my in-person physical clients when I had a physical office in Tucson. So I was using that. And then what did I find out after I took this Zoom class? I found out that Zoom actually talks with Schedule Once. And I went, oh, well, that's really good. And my payment portal is PayPal, and that also talks with Schedule Once. And I use online forms, so I'll send all of my forms to the clients ahead of time before we even meet for the first session, intake forms, as you will. I use Wufoo for that. So I just like saying Wufoo because it sounds like a fun place. And so all those things actually talk together. And then everything is, of course, is integrated with my website. So in a sense, here's how it worked, Karen. If you were to contact me as a prospective client and you click one button on my website that says schedule a free consultation, you get automatically redirected to my calendar service. You pick a date and time that works best for you. You press schedule. It automatically redirects you to Wufoo to fill out an intake form. Actually, not an intake form, more of a questionnaire on why do you want to use hypnosis? What are these goals? Why are they important to you? Blah, 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 blah. That gets automatically sent to me. Then you get automatic reminders sent to you from Schedule Once. I have it set up to where you get 5 reminders from me, actually 4 reminders and a thank you. So you get a reminder, an email reminder right when you schedule the appointment. You get one 24 hours in advance. You get one 4 hours in advance. You get one 1 hour in advance. And then you get a thank you about an hour after our session or our consultation saying thanks for showing up. So, and I fondly like to tell my prospects that I'm not going to let you complain about me email stalking you and all the emails you're going to get because I get the same emails that you get. So you can't complain.
Right.
And it's the same too for a session. The same steps happen. They press the button that says schedule an initial session, takes them right to the calendar site, takes them to PayPal. They pay in full for the session upfront before I even see them. It gets redirected to Wufoo. They fill out the forms. The forms get sent to me automatically. So virtually in either a consult situation or a session, initial or follow-up session, I do not have to see the client until it is time for us to meet on Zoom.
Yeah, I love it. So how did you decide which platforms to use for all of that? Did someone recommend it to you or?
Part of it is a little bit because I was already using Schedule Once. Michael recommended Zoom, and I'd heard about Zoom. I had just not played around with it very much. And I didn't really like Skype. I didn't care for Skype. And I haven't quite looked back at Skype since then, nor do I plan to. And all these other platforms that are coming out like Microsoft Teams. I think there's a couple other ones that are out there. I don't even care to look at them because what I'm using now works great. The best part about what I do too is none of this really costs a huge, massive amount of money. Zoom, for the professional version, is $15 a month. Schedule Once is $180 a year, which is $15 a month if you pay it on a yearly basis. If not, it's like $18 a month. So there's $30 a month right there. Wufoo, you can use the free forms, the free version, so that costs nothing. And PayPal only costs you for the transaction, but that's whether you swipe a card, somebody pays you online, doesn't really matter. You're always going to pay that. So I don't even count that as a cost. So really, I'm talking for like $30 a month. I have a hypnosis practice.
Awesome.
Short of your equipment, your laptop, your camera, earbuds, whatever peripheral equipment you need, but those are one-time investments.
Awesome. So why do you go with PayPal instead of a credit card merchant?
PayPal has always been really good to me. I know some people hate it. Some people like it. Some people go, why would you use that? There's others out there. Sure. There's Square, there's Stripe. I used it primarily because when I started exploring what you could integrate with Schedule Once, it talked to everything that I used. So this literally just fell in my lap. When I took that Zoom class and when I started looking at Schedule Once and found out they talk to each other, I'm thinking, okay, great. Now I just got to figure out how to get paid and how to get forms into people's hands without having to send them an email or getting them to my website. And they all talk to each other. So Schedule Once, or as they call it now, Once Hub, is truly the hub that connects all these platforms together.
Yeah, I love it. So you gave us some great information on how to automate. And I just went through this also about 6 months ago, and it really is huge for business. So thank you. Those are some
I'm sure.
amazing tips, because I know that before I got it all automated, I had a virtual assistant help me. I didn't know where to start either. So that was great
Yeah.
tips. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's not hard to do. Anybody can do it. I am not the most technologically advanced person. The other reason I use those platforms too is they all have great customer service. I've always had good luck with PayPal whenever there's been an issue. Schedule Once has amazing service. Zoom, I haven't really had to contact them for anything. I just watch the videos on how to use things and figure it out. So it's really I don't need customer service for that. And Wufoo, if you can't figure that out, then chances are automating might not be a good choice for you. So
Right.
you gotta have some skills,
Right.
but if you can set the clock on your VCR, you're probably going to be okay.
You'll be set. Or there's always virtual assistants on Upwork and Fiverr, right?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
They can set it up too.
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right. So do you experience any challenges with seeing clients online that you don't experience in your office, or anything that stressed you out in the beginning?
Sure. And it didn't really stress me out, but I seeing clients in my office, I always preferred that because there was that personal experience that I quickly got over. I think we can still be just as personable online now. I can't shake your hand after the session's over. Some clients want a hug. I can't do that now. The biggest thing that I had to get over in my own mind was just doing a suggestibility test or testing during the consultation. And so I used a test, I call it the swipe test. And Carm taught this to me at Mid-America several years ago. And I still use it to this day. And it's this one where you press on their hand and you swipe your hand. And then when you don't swipe their hand, they go, whoa, their hand moves up. And it's really kind of cool. It's an in-person thing. You can't do it online. So now what I use the finger magnets. And I talk about how you can create a thought in your mind, like you have magnets in your fingers or rubber bands wrapped around the tips of your fingers, and your fingers eventually come together. And then I actually go through it again with them twice. And I say, now look, that's a little silly, you have to admit. But I gave you suggestions, you follow the suggestions, therefore you're suggestible. If you're suggestible, you're hypnotizable, you're not resistant. But I want to show you something. I want you to be resistant with me. Let's do it again. This time, don't let your fingers come together. And they don't. And I say, do you see the difference? The first time you were willing to give it a shot. You let things happen just as they should have happened, and everything worked out. If you resist it, guess what? That's what's exactly going to happen. You're not going to get anywhere with this. So I let them experience both sides of it. Let them know that they're going to be in control when they're in hypnosis. Now, as far as other hindrances or obstacles that I've experienced, I was working with a truck driver once, and she was she had a male counterpart that was driving the truck. Half of the time they'd switch off. So when she wasn't driving, she would connect with me, and her driving partner would put in earbuds so he couldn't hear what we were talking about. And she'd sit in the passenger seat of the semi, and she had a little laptop table there. But every now and then you would see the screen would move. And that meant there was like a bump on the road or something, or maybe they hit a squirrel or something, I don't know. And so it was really kind of funny. Every now and then you'd see their camera jiggle a little bit. We lost connectivity one time. And, I always joked with her, and I said, she said, what happens if we lose connectivity? I said, well, you probably get stuck in hypnosis and eventually you die. And and of course she goes, no, really? And I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Why would you even think that? And so I joke a lot with my clients, and I put them at ease. And so I said, well, what'll happen is, eventually we'll just reconnect and don't worry about it. So this time we didn't reconnect right away. She had lost all service. She, I couldn't connect with her. I'm thinking maybe she got stuck in hypnosis and died. I don't know. And
Totally she would.
Happened. Maybe I projected that on her. And so about 3 hours later, she reconnected with me. She called me. She said, I'm at a hotel now. We're in a hotel for the night. I finally have internet service again. I went, oh, thank God. And she goes, I bet you thought I died, didn't you? And I went, yes. And but you never know what's going to happen. You always have a caveat or an out for it. And, here's the reality. Nobody's going to get stuck in hypnosis. Nobody's going to die. We'll just reconnect later. I mean, we're all big people. We can handle that. You don't have to worry about your house catching on fire or their house catching on fire, because obviously, that's not going to happen. And if it does, they're going to smell the smoke. You're going to see what's going on behind them. Everybody's going to wake up. This is not rocket science. It's just hypnosis. So don't make a bigger deal out of it than what it really is, and they won't either.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And just even preparing them beforehand. If this happens, we'll just get right back online, right? It's
very commonsensical, and internet's always going to be a little sketchy sometimes, especially around Black Friday when people are internet shopping, or during a pandemic when the first few weeks of it before they beefed up the internet. I mean, people were like, "Whoa!" So yeah, it was a little slow and a little sketchy, but we made it through, and nobody was freaked out by it.
Awesome. Awesome. Good. All right. I have a big question for you. What is your number one secret or money-making strategy in how you consistently and successfully grow your business and kick ass in your business and life?
There's kind of a couple, but I'll mold them all into one. And that is, don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And if I can use that language, because I think it should be strong, that statement should be a strong statement. And in that, I would say, don't compare yourself with other people either. If you're comparing yourself with other people, there's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always going to be somebody smarter than you. So there's going to be somebody that has a better system than you, has a better logo than you, that has a better shirt than you, that has better looks than you. You know what? So get over yourself. Okay. Do what you do and do it well. Okay. Compete against yourself. That's the only person you should care about how you're doing. Once you get over that limiting belief, once you get over those obstacles and hurdles, then just go and do what you do. Learn from other people. That's another one too. And I would kind of put that in. Don't care what anybody else thinks, but at the same time, if they have some good information, you should listen to it. You should listen to what everybody says. Some of the ideas might be good. Some of the ideas might be stupid, but you won't know until you listen. And even the stupid ideas have a ray of truth to them somewhere along the line. Maybe not now, maybe in the future. So listen to everybody, yet don't care what anybody else thinks about what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. And that's easier said than done. But when you get to that place, it is a definite success principle.
Yeah, that's really is. And it's, if you don't know this or not yet, we work in this little space right here in our own minds. And a lot of times we forget and we try to do it all out here. Start here first. Start here first. That's, you can think of 100 different reasons why something wouldn't work. And all you're doing is subconsciously trying to manifest all 100 of those reasons for it to not work. Or you can think of 100 different ways that it can work. And guess what? You'll come up with 100 different ways to make it work, or at least one. And that's all you need is one. I didn't invent that saying, by the way. That was on on Tut this morning. Notes from the Universe.
Yes, I get that.
This morning. It was on there this morning. So thank you, Mike Dooley, for sharing that little bit of wisdom, because that is amazing. Yeah. And it's just a spin-off of other ways. If you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. It's a spin-off of all that, but it's good stuff. Listen to that stuff,
Yeah, exactly. And there's always going to be someone that doesn't agree with us or isn't a lover of us, and we get to be okay with that. Yeah, yep. Definitely. Awesome. All right. So one more question for you. What is a success habit that you do differently that others don't do that helps you to ensure results? Probably a similar one, but maybe like a business success habit that you do every day or every morning.
Wow. Yeah. I usually wake up at about 4:30, go to the gym, do a good workout. And then I wake up about 9 o'clock from the dream that I just had about waking
up. That was coming.
If I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, it's to use the summer rooms, some are for guys, some are for girls, the bathroom. So no, my success habit is try not to set any habits that I really can't keep that are good ones, because I will break them in a minute. My success habit really is just having fun. I mean, I take what I do very, very seriously. When I'm with a client, we joke around, we have a good time, but everything is done with serious intent. So I take everything seriously, but at the same time, my motto is, if you're not having fun, you're taking up too much room. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. That's really what I state. But it's really, if you're not having fun in life, you're doing it wrong. Even in all this crap that we're living through now with the pandemic and being locked down and all that, heck, we use Zoom to have cocktail parties now. Why not? Just to connect with people. My family now we do a Sunday night Zoom call. For good or bad or worse, we do it. We all eat dinner while we're watching each other eat dinner. And, what are you eating? Wow, that looks pretty good. Hold it up to the camera. So just have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. This is life. Yeah. You get one shot at it. And you may as well frickin' enjoy it while you're here and laugh at all the bad crap that goes on.
Yes.
Not take it too serious. So it's not really businessy, but it is.
It is. It's life, right? And like you said, create joy. Like create joy in your life. Just have fun.
Yeah, that old saying. If you have fun at what you do, you never work a day in your life. Okay. So I've been retired then essentially for probably the last 27 or 28 years of my life then.
Yeah, it does feel like that when you
even though I work full time, I'm virtually retired, and now I'm so retired I'm untrainable.
Right.
I can't ever work for anybody else. I mean, who the hell would want me?
I love it. That's okay. You're good at what you do. Can I give you my feedback on what I think your number one success principle is?
Sure.
All right. I think yours, Michael, is generosity. You work out of generosity, and through that generosity, you are very successful because of it.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I never thought of it as generosity. I always think of it as I work in a mindset of prosperity and abundance. Mm-hmm. There's enough to go around, and rather than a mindset of fear and scarcity, where you feel like, because if you think about it, I mean, and I say this loosely all the time to people, other hypnotists that we collaborate and do things like this with. If you think about it, we're competitors. We're each other's competition. We're vying for the same clients worldwide. Now, do I look at it that way? No. Do you look at it that way? No. We're cohorts. We collaborate. We're not competitors. We're we're compatriots. We're companions. We work together. And so fear and scarcity, no place for that. Prosperity and abundance, that's where you need to be. Exactly. So, and generosity, I like that. I like that term too.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that in you. So thank you. And speaking of generosity, on that is your free gift that you are offering, that there's a link at the bottom of the page, is a free consultation on how to automate your hypnosis and coaching practice. Now, I know this is really valuable because I have offered 15-minute, 20-minute calls on how to do Zoom, and there are so many out there that are interested in that. So tell us a little bit more about how we can get that or how we can do that.
Sure. Super, super simple. And you'll actually get to see the process in action by doing this. So you go to my website, virtualhypnosisonline.com. That's all spelled out. Virtual hypnosis, the word online.com. Go there. On the top, there'll be a toolbar that'll appear. It'll say schedule. You can click that. It'll take you right down to the part of the page where you can schedule. You want to click the button that says schedule a free, no obligation consultation. Because if you click the other one, you're going to have to pay me money. So hold on to that cash for just a little bit. But click the one that says schedule a free, no obligation consultation. This is the easiest way to get to me. It'll walk you right through the steps. Now, granted, you're not going to be seeing me as a hypnotherapy client. So put in the box, hey, I want to talk to you about making my practice or taking my practice virtual and automating it. And then I'll know I'm probably dealing with another hypnotist here. And so it's going to calendar you for 30 minutes of my time. And which means that I block out an hour for that. So if we go a little long and talk and get chit-chatty, that's fine. But what I'll do for you, all the hypnotists out there, is I'll kind of evaluate where you're at in your business. And if this is a good step for you to do this, whether it's part-time or full-time, I went full-time virtual. So that means I don't have an office at all. Actually, true quick side story. Had an office with Richard Dongard, Martin Castor Peterson, and Kevin Cole. We opened up an office here in Las Vegas a few months ago. Yeah. And then the pandemic hit. Perfect. So we painted it. It looked really good. And then we all left. And then everything got locked down. So, so we just closed the office, actually.
Yeah.
The shortest office history I've ever had in my life. So we just closed the office. The landlord let us out of the lease. So it was really good. So it was no loss, no harm. We got to just practice painting one day. And I think Dan Candell and I used it for one class once, and Richard Mize used it for a couple of videos, and Kevin, I don't think, used it at all. And Martin, well, he's in Denmark, so he never even got to see the damn thing. But anyway, so going back to my story now. So I'll evaluate your practice. I'll see where you're at. I'll see if this is going to work for you. And then if it is something that you want more training on, I can offer you some video programs that I have that will help you to do this. And also with those video programs, you do get some time with me one-on-one to walk you through the steps and make sure that it all works and connects. So, you know, that's something that I have as a paid program, but let's just talk first. That's free. Yeah. Let's talk first and see if this will work for you. virtualhypnosisonline.com, schedule a free consultation. Have fun answering the questions. I don't care what you put in the questions. You know, why do you want to use hypnosis? Because I want to look like Mike DeSchalit. I don't care. Put whatever you want in there. Have fun with it. But just put in there that I'm a hypnotist. I'd like to know whether I should automate my practice and go virtual.
Right.
We'll know what we're talking about.
We can even ask you about the fountain talks. And I'm going to have you on the Facebook page, and we will talk a little bit more about those programs that you offer if anyone wants to learn more about those. Sure.
Yeah. And you're going to get 5 emails from me, by the way. If you do that, you're going to get an email 24 hours in advance, 4 hours in advance, 1 hour in advance. No, right when you schedule, 24 hours in advance, 4 hours in advance, 1 hour in advance, and 1 after. But don't complain about those emails because I get the same 5 emails.
Okay. I love it. Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Michael. I always love and enjoy talking to you. So great.
Well, I look forward to seeing you at one of our next conferences coming up. And until then, everybody stay well.
For sure. And thank you all for being here with us today. And we will catch you soon. Thanks.